Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulihil Kareem wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man istanna bi sunnatihi ila yawmiddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers. We are going through the journey through Quran. Inshallah ta'ala, this is the last day of this week. So we're going to do this 5 ayah here today. The ayahs are actually similar kind of meaning here, but still there are a lot of lesson and lots of wisdom inside this ayah. So we'll start with ayah number 113. Before we start 113, the last ayah that we did yesterday, ayah number 112, so 112, that was that Allah was saying that, that the one who submit himself, his face, basically his arrogance, his pride, basically one who submit himself in Islam, he is the one who will have the ajr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also Allah is saying he is the one that he's going to have no grief and no sadness, because he is trying to be a muhsin. He is trying to be a muhsin, and we said that muhsin means it is the highest level of a believer, that where he is always conscious about that everything he is doing is watched by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as if he is doing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he is trying to be a muhsin. Now in ayah number 113, Allah is talking, it's a very common and interesting ayah of the Surah Al-Baqarah, as you all know, where the Jewish and the Christians, they are saying that the Jewish has no base, and on the other side the Christians say they also have no base, and although both of them are from the book like Ahl Kitab. So what Allah is trying to say that these two group of people, they think with their book they had a attitude towards the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that they are okay with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they have done their part, they will be in the paradise, nobody else. So instead of following their own self, they try to follow and find fault between others. So they are reading the same book. Why same book? Because Torah and Injil is almost the same book as even today also the Bible has Old Testament and New Testament, and also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that the Injil is the one that completes the Torah. So although they are the people of the book, but they don't focus on themselves to be a muhsin. Instead, they are focusing, finding faults in others. So the Jewish is saying, no, these people are Christian, they have no base. They are everything based on their faults. On the same side, Christian is saying, no, they are based on faults. But they are not focusing on themselves, what they should do. What Allah mentioned in the previous ayah. And also Allah is saying they are just like the people who have no knowledge. And which is very important, although these are the people are the book. And people of the book means they have knowledge. That's why they are the people of the book. They are reading the book. But still Allah is saying they have no knowledge because they are talking like this. And from this we can find a lesson that even for us, and this is the state of the ummah now, that there are so many groups in our Muslim ummah. And everybody is reading the Quran, everybody is reading the Hadith, but still from the Quran we find something as no, this brother is not doing it right, they are this group, they are not in the right path, they are not Ahl Sunnatul Jama'ah, they are not this one, they are not this one. So this is the same tradition that came into us. And this reminds us about the Hadith of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that we will follow step by step like the previous nation, like the Jewish and the Christian, and that's what we are doing basically. We are reading the book, we are reading the book of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, but what we are doing, we are reading a Hadith and try to argue with this Hadith with another brother or something. No, you are wrong, this is the right thing, this is the wrong thing, and all these things making division among us. And this is actually the act of the people who have no knowledge. And then Allah said, Allah will judge between them. So we should understand that the ultimate judge, Al-Hakim, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why Allah is mentioning here, I am the one who's going to judge you. So we don't have the right to judge people. Yes, we have the right to judge an action. If someone is doing something haram, we have the right to judge, brother, this is according to the Quran and Sunnah is haram. Please don't do this. Please avoid this. Don't do this. But we still cannot judge the person himself or his heart, because we don't know his heart, what is it, but we can judge the action. And this is why Allah said in the previous ayah that yesterday we said, Fasfahu afu, meaning, be pardoned, be overlooked with the people of the Ahl Kitab. Although we know clearly that they are not in the right path, still we have to be nice with them. So this is the ayah of 113. And ayah number 114, Allah is saying that this is a different ayah. This is Allah talk, so previous ayah Allah talk about Jewish and Christian. Now Allah, all the tafsir of the scholars say, this ayah is about the mushrik of the Kaaba. Why mushrik of the Kaaba? Because Allah is saying, who are the most unjust, who prohibit other people to come to the masjid, meaning the masjid of Kaaba. But interesting thing is that the word masajid here is a plural. It's not the Kaaba only. It could be any masjid, any place. So, this is what the meaning, inside meaning is here. And Allah is saying, whoever try to prevent something in the mosque, he is the most unjust people among all the people. And what is the task in the mosque? Allah mentioned here that they try to prohibit the zikr of Allah in the masjid. And zikr of Allah means not only prayer, the Quran and everything that happens for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and for the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the masjid. So they try to prevent that. And because of this evil action, like they try to prevent and they try to make corruption in the masjid. So this is why they should be in the fear. The ayah also feeds to the people of the Makkah, because the people of the Makkah, they have tortured the Muslim people, they make them out of the Makkah and they went to Medina, and people of the Medina, the Muhajirun initially has a fear that they cannot come and pray in front of Kaaba because of these people. And that's why they stayed for almost 8 years in Medina. After 8 years they conquered the Makkah again. So Allah is saying, Allah is predicting that, don't worry, you are not the one who will have the fear. Rather, these people who are preventing you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one day they will be in the fear. So this ayah is before Battle of Badr. So Allah is already predicting like 8 years before that, there's time coming that when you will overcome the Makkah, and these people who are trying to prevent you will be in the fear, and they also will have the punishment in this dunya. The disgrace is in dunya, and also punishment in the hereafter. Ayah number 115, it says that, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَشْرِقُ وَالْمَغْرِبُ, to Allah belong the east and the west. And so whoever you turn, you will find the face of Allah. What does it mean here? Basically, Allah is saying, Allah is making the people, the ummah in the Medina, because Medina is the ummah at that time, as you know. Allah is making them ready for the next big event coming. As you know, very soon, even in the Surah Al-Baqarah will come, in few more ayah, we'll see the change of Qibla. And you know that Muhajirun has a very sad feeling that because they left the house of Allah. They left Makkah. They are not facing the Makkah anymore. They are not in Kaaba anymore. They left their houses, everything, the house of Ibrahim. So they had the sadness in their heart, but Allah is consoling them. Don't worry, Allah is everywhere. Allah is everywhere. You turn to anywhere, you will find face of Allah. And by face of Allah, Allah means here the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the majesty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the honor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, and obviously at the end Allah is saying, Inna Allaha wasiyun alim. Wasiyun means the one is encompassing everything. So Allah is encompassing the whole world. So wherever you pray, whether you pray in Australia, whether you pray in Bangladesh or whatever, as long as you are sincere, Allah is listening to us, and inshallah Allah will accept us like this. Ayah number 116 and 117, and we will finish it here inshallah ta'ala, where Allah is saying, and they, the Jewish and Christians, say that Allah has begotten a son. Auzubillah, Allah is saying this is a common concept in the Quran, and is this very famous in the Jewish, because Jewish also in the Quran, Allah said, Jewish also said that Allah has begotten a son, Wazir, the son of the Wazir, his name is Wazir, and obviously Christian, as they said, Jesus Christ is the begotten son of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah is saying Allah is far, far above them. And then Allah is saying in the next ayah that, for Allah, this is nothing. Allah is the initiator of everything, and whenever He says kun fayakun, everything is done. Whenever Allah will talk about this concept, this idea of having a child of the Christian, we will find this concept more in Surah Al-Ali Imran, because Surah Al-Ali Imran is more about the Christian people. This Surah Baqarah, as we mentioned before, is most about the Bani Israel, the Jewish people. The Surah Al-Ali Imran is about the people of the Christian, and we will find this kun fayakun over there. And whenever something Allah made from out of natural order, Allah said kun fayakun. So if Allah makes something like a mountain come into being in 1 second, Allah will say kun fayakun. Like the way that Jesus was come to this world, He came without a father. This is a miraculous birth from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is where Allah said, yes, it can be possible, because Allah can say be and it will be. So kun fayakun, and this is the concept of kun fayakun that Allah brought it here, and Allah said, subhanahu, because Allah is far from that kind of blame and that kind of thing that the Jewish and the Christian try to portray on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So inshallah ta'ala, this week we'll finish it here, and we'll start again from Tuesday. Monday we won't have any talk. So from Tuesday inshallah ta'ala we'll go from ayah number 118. Jazakallahu khair, subhanakallahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.